The siren wailed like a banshee as the truck barreled down Rainier Avenue. But I knew deep in my gut that this call was different. Flames devouring the old warehouse on the waterfront. The kind of blaze that swallowed lives whole. Captain Harlan's voice crackled over the radio, sharp as a switchblade. "Ashton, stand down. You're off the roster. Kid, we don't need your kind complicating things." And just like that, in the rearview mirror of my beat-up Chevy, I watched my dream, and the only family I'd ever known, race toward hell without me. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles bleached white, the engine's rumble vibrating through my chest like a second heartbeat. Seattle's perpetual drizzle had turned to a downpour, blurring the taillights of Engine 12 as they vanished around the bend. 23 years old, fresh out of the academy with a perfect score on the physicals, and now this. "You're kind." Harlan's words hung in the air, toxic as the smoke I'd trained to breathe through. I'd hidden it for months. The late-night texts from Roman, the stolen kisses in the locker room shadows. But someone had talked. Whispers in the bunkhouse, sideways glances during drills. And tonight, on the eve of my first real shift, it all came crashing down like the warehouse roof was about to. I slammed the truck into gear and floored it, screw standing down. That building was a tinderbox of forgotten crates and chemical drums, the kind of fire that didn't discriminate between heroes and rejects. My radio buzzed with updates. Multiple trapped inside. Civilian screams reported. Civilians. People like my mom, who'd raised me alone after Dad bailed, teaching me to run toward the fire, not away. Like Roman, who'd pulled me from the closet 2 years ago with a grin that lit up darker than any flare. I couldn't just sit here, drowning in the what-ifs. The warehouse loomed like a skeletal giant against the stormy Puget Sound sky, orange tongues of flame licking the eaves. Fire trucks ringed the perimeter, hoses snaking across the gravel lot like veins. I killed the engine a block away, grabbed my go-bag from the passenger seat. Mask, gloves, the works I'd stashed after Harlan's chat this morning, and sprinted toward the chaos. Adrenaline surged, hot and familiar, drowning out the ache in my chest. Shouts echoed. "Ladder up! Vent the roof!" I spotted Roman near the pumper, his broad shoulders silhouetted against the glow, helmet tucked under one arm as he barked orders to the probies. Our eyes locked across the inferno. His face, usually all easy confidence, that crooked smile that made my knees weak, twisted in something raw, unreadable. Betrayal? Fear? He mouthed my name, but the roar swallowed it. Before I could close the distance, Harlan materialized like a ghost, meaty hand clamping my bicep. "What the hell are you doing here, Hayes?" I said, "Stand down." I yanked free, breath ragged. "Captain, there's no time," dispatch said, "at least 3 inside. I can help." His eyes narrowed, flecked with embers. "Help? Boy, you're a liability. Words out, you and that pansy routine. Department's got standards. Now get gone before I have you arrested for interference." The word hit like a gut punch, but I held his stare, rain mixing with the sweat on my brow. Around us, the team moved like a well-oiled machine. Axes swinging, lines charging. Roman hesitated at the truck's side, his gaze flicking between us, jaw tight. He'd promised me last week, tangled in my sheets after a shift, that he'd have my back. "We're in this together, Ash. Fire don't care who you love." But now, the silence from him screamed louder than the sirens. "Fine," I spat, stepping back. "But if you let this eat you alive, Harlan, that's on you." I turned, boots crunching gravel, every fiber screaming to charge in any way. That's when the explosion ripped through the night. A secondary blast from the chemicals, the warehouse shuddering like it was alive and furious. Debris rained down, and a scream pierced the din. Not from inside, but from Roman. He was thrown back, helmet skittering across the lot, blood blooming on his temple as a chunk of beam pinned his leg. Time fractured. I didn't think, I ran. Harlan's bellow chased me. "Hayes, no!" But I was already there, dropping to my knees beside Roman, the heat blasting my face like an open oven. "Stay with me, Ro. I've got you." His eyes fluttered open, hazy green locking on mine, a ghost of that smile flickering through the pain. "Ash, you came. Always." I wedged my shoulder under the beam, muscles screaming as I heaved. It budged an inch, Then 2 years of deadlifts and hose drags paying off in this hellish moment. The team swarmed then, hands joining mine, grunts and curses blending with the crackle of flames. We lifted, and Roman slid free, gasping as I dragged him clear. Medics descended, but he clutched my hand, voice a rasp. "Don't let him bench you. Not like this." Harlan loomed over us, face a mask of soot and fury. "You just bought yourself a one-way ticket out, kid." But as the rain hammered down, washing the blood from Roman's brow, I saw it. The crack in his armor. Doubt. And in Roman's grip, something unbreakable. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The hospital smelled like bleach and regret. The kind that seeps into your pores and lingers like smoke after a 3-alarm. I paced the ER waiting room, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets. My turnout gear still strapped on, singed at the cuffs. Roman was in surgery, compound fracture, possible concussion from the blast. But the doc said he'd pull through. Small mercies in a night gone to hell. Harlan had cornered me outside the warehouse, his bulk blocking the ambulance bay like a dam against the flood of my rage. "You think playing hero fixes this? Department's launching an internal review first thing. Your files got notes. Conduct unbecoming. They call it. That stunt with Ellis? It's all coming out." Ellis. Roman's last name like it was a dirty secret. I'd met him at the academy 2 years back, both of us wide-eyed rookies from blue-collar stock. He from Tacoma, me from the rain-soaked suburbs of Everett. One shared glance during PT, one awkward beer after graduation, and the world tilted on its axis. I slumped into a vinyl chair, the vinyl cracking under me like old leather. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. "Heard about the fire on the scanner. You okay?" And from the team group chat, radio silence. No congrats for the save, no check-ins. Just ghosts. I fired off a quick fine. At hospital. To Mom, then scrolled to Roman's thread. Our last exchange. A heart emoji under a photo of us at Alki Beach, arms slung casual, waves crashing behind like applause. That was yesterday. Now? I typed, deleted, typed again. "Tell me you're fighting this." A nurse with kind eyes and a name tag reading Maria approached, clipboard in hand. "Mr. Hayes? Your friend's out of surgery. Stable, but he's asking for you." Relief hit like cool air after a burn, but it curdled quick when she added, "Captain Harlan's on his way. Might want to prepare. Like I was prepping for a drill, not the end of everything. I followed her down the hall, past beeping monitors and weary families, to a room bathed in the soft blue of bedside lights. Roman lay there, leg elevated in a cage of pins and bandages, face pale but alive. His eyes found mine, and damn if it didn't feel like coming home. "Ash," he breathed, reaching out. I took his hand, calluses rough against my palm. The same hands that had steadied me through my first live burn. "You were incredible out there, like something out of a damn movie." I sank into the chair beside him, throat tight. "Couldn't leave you pinned like that. Not after Harlan's words, the rejection that tasted like ash." I leaned in, voice low. "He knows about us, Ro. All of it." Roman's grip tightened, then slackened, pain etching lines around his mouth. I figured, saw the way he looked at me during briefing. "But Ash, listen, we report this. Discrimination, straight up. ACLU's got precedence. Firefighters winning suits left and right." I laughed, bitter and hollow. "Easy for you to say. You're the golden boy. Probationary status cleared last month. Me? I'm the queer kid they never wanted. One whiff of this, and I'm blackballed from every house in the state." His thumb traced circles on my knuckles, a habit from quieter nights. "Then we fight together. Out you, Ash. Tell em I've been loving you since day one. Let the chips fall." The door swung open before I could respond, Harlan filling the frame like a storm cloud. His uniform was crisp despite the grime, eyes hard as flint. "Ellis. Hayes." He nodded curt, shutting the door with a click that echoed like a gavel. "Good work on the extrication. Department's noting it for your files." Pause heavy as lead. "But we need to talk brass tacks." Roman shifted, wincing. "Captain, if this is about..." "It is." Harlan pulled up a stool, elbows on knees, voice dropping to that paternal rumble he used on rookies. Look, boys, I get it. Times are changing. But this house? It's old school. Vets from Nam 9/11 scars still fresh. They see. Distractions, it fractures the line. Hayes, you're talented. Hell, that lift tonight? Proby level stuff. But rumors? They spread faster than fire. I surged to my feet, chair scraping. Rumors? You mean facts. You benched me tonight because I'm gay, Captain. That's not distraction. That's bigotry. Harlan's jaw worked, but he didn't deny it. Call it what you want. Policy's policy. And Ellis, keep your head down. Heal up. We need you back, not stirring pots. Roman's face hardened, the fighter in him rising through the morphine haze. Or what? You bench me too? For loving someone who saves lives. The room went still, air thick enough to choke on. Harlan stood slowly, towering. Heal up, he repeated, then to me. Out. Now. As he left, the door's whoosh carried the weight of ultimatums unspoken. I collapsed back, head in hands. He'll bury us, Ro. Not if we bury him first. Roman's voice was steel. I've got a buddy in IA Internal Affairs. We document everything. Your rejection text, the stand-down order. Make it public. Public. The word twisted in my gut. Seattle's firehouses were tight-knit, like extended families with axes. Coming out meant spotlights, headlines. Gay firefighter fights back. But hiding? That was dying slow. I met his gaze, saw the mirror of my own fear and fire. Okay, together. We talked strategy till dawn crept in, gray light filtering through blinds. Plans sketched on a napkin. Calls to lawyers, allies in the union. But under it, the raw ache. The love that had bloomed in stolen moments, now weaponized. As I kissed his forehead goodbye, whispering, I love you, for the first time in daylight, I felt the shift. This wasn't just survival. It was revolution. The next week blurred into a gauntlet of meetings and migraines. Seattle's November gloom mirroring the storm in my soul. By day, I crashed at Mom's in Everett, her tiny bungalow a sanctuary of pot roast and prying questions. Ashton, honey, you look like you haven't slept since the moon landing. She'd fuss with my hair, same dark waves as hers, while I dodged the truth. Just work stress, ma. But nights, I drive the back roads, radio blasting Springsteen, born to run anthems for outcasts, plotting our counterstrike. Roman got sprung midweek, hobbling on crutches to his apartment in Capitol Hill, that artsy warren of coffee shops and rainbow flags. I moved in unofficially, our worlds colliding in his cramped living room. My academy textbooks stacked beside his vinyl collection, Bowie and Prince spinning like talismans. We'd pore over case law on his laptop, feet tangled under a blanket, the city lights twinkling below like distant fires. See here? He'd point, voice husky from pain meds. Boston FD 2018. Guy sued for orientation discrimination, won back pay and reinstatement. We're not alone, Ash. But alone was how it felt when the calls came. First, the union rep, a grizzled vet named Kowalski, who grunted over the phone. Hayes, off the record? You're poison right now. Harlan's got the old guard riled. Talk of protecting the brotherhood. Drop it, take the EMT cert, move on. I hung up, fists clenched, the betrayal stinging fresh. Brotherhood. What a crock. Then the texts from the team. Anonymous burners, probably. Fag hero? Save your breath for the lawsuits. One even attached a photo, grainy shot of Roman and me at that beach, circled in red. My stomach roiled. Who'd tailed us? Paranoia crept in, shadows lengthening in Roman's hallway. I started sleeping with one eye open, dreams replaying the warehouse blast. Beams falling, Harlan's sneer morphing into a mob. The climax hit on a Thursday, rain lashing the windows like accusations. I'd landed a temp gig at a warehouse, irony's cruel joke, hauling crates for minimum wage, muscles aching from disuse. Home early, I found Roman on the couch, crutches aside, staring at his phone like it had grown fangs. Ash, he said, voice flat. We need to talk. Those 4 words, cliché as hell, but they gutted me. I dropped my keys, heart hammering. What's wrong? He handed over the phone, screen glowing with an email from the department. Subject, disciplinary recommendation. It detailed inappropriate conduct during the warehouse response, my unauthorized entry, endangering personnel, but buried in the legalese, a witness statement. Roman's name, bolded. Probationary firefighter Ellis reports Hayes acted impulsively against direct orders. Recommends immediate termination to maintain unit cohesion. I read it twice, the words blurring. This. You wrote this. Roman wouldn't meet my eyes, crutches clattering as he stood. Not like that. Harlan cornered me at PT yesterday. Said if I didn't sign off, it'd drag me down too. Revoke my clearance. Pin the blast injuries on distraction. I panicked. Thought I could protect us both by time. Betrayal bloomed cold and sharp, sharper than Harlan's knife. By time? By throwing me under the bus. I paced, voice rising, the room closing in. You promised, Ro. Together. Now you're feeding their narrative. Me as the reckless queer kid. He reached for me, but I jerked back. It's not that simple. You're the one who charged in half-cocked. If you'd waited. I laughed. Manic. For what? Permission to save your life? God, Roman, I thought you were different. Not another closeted coward playing both sides. Tears tracked his cheeks, mixing with the stubble I'd once traced with my lips. I'm scared. Okay? My family's back in Tacoma. Dad's a cop, old school. If this blows up, I'm done. But you're fearless. That's why I love you. Why I can't lose you. The love word hung, fragile as glass. I wanted to believe him, to fold into his arms and let the world burn. But trust? Shattered. You already did? I whispered, grabbing my jacket. The door slammed behind me, echoing down the stairwell like a final bell. I drove aimlessly, wipers slashing the torrent, ending up at Discovery Park. Cliffs overlooking the Sound, where we'd hiked last summer, hands brushing accidental on purpose. Waves crashed below, furious, mirroring the churn inside. Betrayal wasn't just Roman's signature. It was the system's rot, the Brotherhood's hypocrisy. Harlan preaching unity while carving out the weak. The team silent witnesses to it all. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, gulls wheeling overhead. I sat on a driftwood log, phone dead in my pocket. No calls to Mom, no pleas to Roman. Clarity hit like salt air. Fight alone. I'd file the complaint solo, go public with the warehouse audio I'd secretly recorded on my dash cam. Harlan's stand-down order, crystal clear. Leak it to the stranger, Seattle's alt weekly. Let the journalists tear it open. Extraordinary? Hell, it'd be seismic. But as the sun crested, doubt gnawed. Roman's face in the ER, that ghost smile. Was I torching us for justice? Or justice to torch the pain? I stood, sand caking my boots, resolve hardening. No turning back. The fire I'd run toward wasn't just flames. It was this, the blaze of truth. The stranger's offices smelled like ink and insomnia. A converted warehouse in Belltown buzzing with reporters chained to laptops like galley slaves. I clutched my flash drive like a grenade, heart pounding as I pitched my story to Lena, the editor. A sharp-eyed woman in her 40s with a pixie cut and a noble shit vibe. Discrimination in the FD? Juicy, she said, scanning the transcript. But we need more than words. Got proof. I slid the drive across. Audio file, timestamped. Harlan's voice, tinny but unmistakable. We don't need your kind. Her eyebrows shot up. This airs, kid, it's war. You ready for the blowback? Been living it, I replied, forcing a grin. War it was, then. The piece dropped online Friday. Seattle fire. Heroes or hypocrites? Headline screamed my name. Photo from the academy. Clean-shaven, hopeful. By noon, it had 50K views. Shares rippling through Reddit and Twitter like aftershocks. The backlash was biblical. My inbox flooded. Hate mail from trolls. Go back to the parade, fairy. Mixed with support from allies I'd never met. Proud of you, brother, from a Chicago firefighter out and proud. Mom called, voice trembling. Ashton, the neighbors. They're asking questions. I soothed her, but inside, a hollow victory. Roman, radio silence. I texted once. Saw the article. We need to talk. Crickets. Saturday brought the protests. A ragtag group gathered outside Station 12. Queer activists in rainbow gear, signs reading "Fire bigots, not fighters." I joined, anonymous in the crowd at first, until a chant broke, "Ashton! Ashton!" Cameras swiveled, and there I was, thrust front and center, megaphone in hand. "This isn't about me," I shouted, rain beating on my jacket. "It's about every kid dreaming of the badge, told they're not man enough, not American enough. We fight fires. We deserve to fight side by side." Cheers erupted, but across the street, the team watched from the bay doors. Harlan front and center, arms crossed, face thunderous. And Roman, crutches tucked away, standing tall. His eyes met mine, conflicted storm. He mouthed something. "Sorry? Love?" Lost in the din. My chest tightened. Betrayal's scar throbbed, but so did the pull, that magnetic ache. The climax crested that night, uninvited. A call from dispatch, off duty, but old habits die hard. Multifamily blaze in the central district, kids trapped on the second floor. I raced over in my truck, arriving as engines screamed in. Chaos reigned. Hoses flailing, smoke billowing thick as grief. I spotted the captain, not Harlan, yelling for volunteers. No gear, no clearance, but screw it. I charged the door, heat blasting like a furnace, smoke stinging eyes. Inside, visibility zero, walls groaning. "Help!" A child's wail guided me, tiny hand clutching mine in the haze. I scooped her up. 5, maybe, pigtails singed, coughing as I navigated the inferno. Flames clawed the ceiling, but muscle memory kicked in. Low crawl, feel for the exit. Halfway, a beam buckled, slamming my shoulder. Pain exploded, white hot. I shielded the girl, rolling us clear as the roof vented in a whoosh. Outside, medics swarmed. "Who the hell are you?" the captain barked, but his eyes widened at the girl, safe in her mother's arms. "That was you." Word spread fast. By morning, it was everywhere. Rejected firefighter saves child in heroic dash. The stranger follow-up painted me saint or martyr, depending on the spin. Harlan called then, voice gruff over the line. "Hayes, department's suspending me pending review. IA's involved, your audio sealed it." A beat. "You did good, kid. Stupid, but good." I gripped the phone, shoulder throbbing in a sling. "Not for you, Captain. For them. For us." He sighed, "Human for once. Fair. And Ellis, he's been a wreck. Come clean with him." I hung up, staring at the sound from Roman's balcony. Our balcony? Waves churning restless. The extraordinary act wasn't the save. It was this, bearing the wound, demanding healing. I texted, "Balcony. Now." He appeared minutes later, tentative, no crutches, just him. Tall, tousled, eyes red-rimmed. "Ash, Stop." I cut him off, voice steady despite the storm. "You betrayed me. That hurts deeper than any burn. But I get it. Fear's a hell of a drug. Question is, can we rebuild from ash?" He stepped closer, rain misting us both. "Every day if you'll let me. I love you, Ashton Hayes. Not the hero, the man who runs toward fire, toward me." Tears mixed with the drizzle, and I pulled him in, lips brushing tentative. Not passion's blaze, but embers warm, promising. Forgiveness wasn't erasure. It was choice. We stood there, city pulsing below, two rejects forging something unbreakable. Months folded like smoke, Seattle's winter yielding to a tentative spring. Cherry blossoms defiant against the gray. The IA probe wrapped with Harlan's retirement. A quiet exit laced with non-disclosure. No charges, but the department rolled out sensitivity training, a rainbow pin option on uniforms. Symbolic? Sure, but symbols stack like kindling. Enough and they ignite change. I got my badge back, probationary, with a commendation for the Central District save. The warehouse extrication earned Roman a promotion, his leg scar a badge of its own. We moved into a new place together, a loft in Fremont with exposed brick and a view of the trolls under the bridge. Whimsical reminder that monsters lurk, but so do wonders. Life wasn't fairy tale neat. Whispers lingered in the bunkhouse, sideways glances during drills. A vet once cornered me post-shift. "Hayes, you stir the pot, but damn if you don't pull your weight." Progress, jagged-edged. Mom met Roman over Easter brunch, her initial squint softening to hugs. He looks at you like you're the damn sun, Esh. And us? We built slow, deliberate. Mornings tangled in sheets, coffee brewing as we swapped shift stories. No more shadows. Evenings on the couch, his head on my lap, fingers tracing tattoos from our academy days. Love deepened, not in grand gestures but quiet ones. Him packing my go-bag before a long haul, me massaging knots from his back after overtime. The true climax came in June, Pride Month kicking off with the parade, neon floats, and thumping bass down 4th Avenue. The department marched, a block of blue amid the glitter. Harlan's old crew mixed with fresh faces. Roman and I, arms linked, badges gleaming under rainbow sashes. Cheers washed over us, but my eyes stung. Not from confetti, but the weight. 2 years from that rainy night, from rejection's blade. Halfway down, a kid broke from the crowd. 16, maybe, with my old wide eyes and a sign. Future firefighter, thanks for fighting. He hugged me fierce, mumbling, saw your story, made me brave. Roman squeezed my hand, grin crooked as ever. In that moment, the extraordinary act crystallized. Not the saves, the lawsuits, the stands. It was ripple proof that one reject's roar could echo, embolden. We ended at the festival, beers in hand, watching fireworks bloom over the sound. Roman pulled me close, breath warm on my neck. Worth it? All the hell. I turned, kissing him soft, the city's hum our soundtrack. Every scorch mark, because we didn't just survive, we burned brighter. As the last spark faded, I thought of Harlan, retired to his cabin, maybe nursing regrets over fishing lines. Of the team evolving grudgingly. Of Mom, beaming from the sidelines. Humanity's messy, betrayal scar, conflict scarper. But love? It mends humanistic glue in a fractured world. We walked home arm in arm, future uncertain as any call, but together. And in America's grand, flawed tapestry, fire brigades and flag-waving dreams, that was victory enough. Epilogue whispers. Last week, another reject called, young, scared, from a small-town house in Ohio. Heard your story. Need advice. I talked him through it, Roman chiming in from the kitchen. Chains breaking one link at a time. That's the act. Extraordinary, endless.